Morning, everybody. We are gathered this morning for the 17th Convocation of CEPT University. The university will confer degrees on students who have completed their program of study during the academic session 2021-22. It will also confer awards won during that period. On this special occasion, I'm very happy to welcome our chief guest, Dr. Montek Singh Ahluwalia. Dr. Ahluwalia, as we all know, is an eminent economist. He graduated with a PA honors from St. Stephen's College in Delhi. Then, armed with a Rhodes Scholarship, he studied philosophy, politics, and economics at Oxford University. After graduating from Oxford in 1968, he joined the World Bank. He worked there for a decade. During that period, he met and married Ishar Judge, who was also an economist. We know her as Dr. Ishar Judge Ahluwalia, and as many of you know, she was a good friend of CEPT University. Dr. Ahluwalia's work at the World Bank gave him a global perspective on development and an opportunity to think about why, in comparison to other developing countries, the India of that time was doing so poorly. In 1979, Dr. Ahluwalia returned to India with his family. This was unusual at the time. Given the frustrating conditions here, most people in his position were opting to remain abroad. But both Dr. Ahluwalia and his wife Isha were deeply committed to India and its development. And for this, they were willing to give up a comfortable life abroad. After his return, Dr. Ahluwalia took up the position of economic advisor in the Ministry of Finance in the Government of India in Delhi. Since then, he has held several senior positions in government, such as Commerce Secretary, Secretary, Department of Economic Affairs, Finance Secretary, Special Secretary to the Prime Minister. He was Deputy Chairman of the Planning Commission from 2004 to 2014. He was awarded the Padma Bhushan in 2011. Currently, he is a distinguished fellow at the Center for Social and Economic Progress and member of the advisory group of the IMF and the World Bank, which is focused on the impacts of COVID-19 and climate change. The bare facts of Dr. Ahluwalia's CV do not do justice to the immense contribution that he has made to the development of India and to our lives today. As many of you may know, in the early 90s, he, along with a small group of people in government and allied institutions, played a key role in ushering in economic reforms. These reforms set India on a path of growth, the fruits of which we are all enjoying today. The significance of those reforms cannot be overstated. India, before the reforms, was very different from what it is today. It was poor, cut off from the world, and in the grip of severe scarcities. More importantly, the post-independence dream that, freed of colonial rule, India will pull itself out of poverty and one day become a well-developed nation had all but vanished. At the root of this dismal state of affairs was a set of well-entrenched economic policies that India was in the grip of. These policies were inward-looking, anti-market, and anti-private sector. They relied heavily on the public sector to produce key goods and services. They viewed the private sector with suspicion and severely restricted its scope. They restricted imports and blocked foreign investment. They hobbled the economy with regulations and vastly increased the scope and power of the bureaucracy. Perhaps the most pernicious effect of these policies was to breed a mean, backward-looking, and debilitating scarcity mindset that affected all spheres of life, including the world of architecture, planning, and construction. The reforms of 1991 released the stranglehold of these policies. They unleashed growth and set India on a new trajectory of development. They revived hope and made it possible to once again dream that India could one day be a proud and well-developed nation worthy of the world's respect. I'm sure that many of you will agree that much of the history of the last 3 decades is a gradual unfolding of this dream, which was enabled by the reforms. The reforms of 1991 did not come about by themselves. They became possible because a remarkable set of people, which included Dr. Ahluwalia, worked behind the scenes for well over a decade, doing the intellectual groundwork to persuade those in power that a change in direction is necessary. The story of how those reforms came about and what Dr. Ahluwalia's role in it was has been wonderfully presented by him in his book called Backstage. It was published 2 years ago. Please read it. It's a story of what it takes to make a difference. Humility, persistence, commitment, a willingness to take the difficult path and to engage with problems, an ability to collaborate, respect for people with differing views, a belief that problems, however difficult, can be surmounted if we have the right knowledge. The book is truly inspiring for anyone who wants to make a difference and contribute to the development of India. Dr. Ahluwalia, thank you for your immense contribution to India's development. We are extremely honored to have you as the chief guest at our convocation. It is also my pleasure to welcome our chairman, Sri Sanjay Lalbhai. As many of you already know, he is well-known and highly respected business leader. As chairman and managing director of Arvind Limited, Sanjay Bhai led Arvind on its quest to be one of the largest manufacturers of woven textiles in India and one of the largest denim manufacturers in the world. Sanjay Bhai is also the present-day torchbearer of a remarkable tradition of enlightened and far-sighted civic leadership in Ahmedabad, which is over a century old. Long before corporate social responsibility became a buzzword and mandatory, it is this tradition of civic-minded business leaders supporting noble, strategic, and far-reaching causes that has allowed Ahmedabad to play a far bigger role in the life of our nation than Ahmedabad's size or economy warrants. Sanjay Bhai is deeply interested and involved with higher-level education and research. He is the president of Ahmedabad Education Society and is involved in many other institutions such as Ahmedabad University, Atira, and the Physical Research Laboratory. Sanjay Bhai, we are thankful for the interest you take in the development of CEPT University, and we are privileged to have you present at this convocation. I'm also very happy to welcome the other members of the governing body, members of the Board of Management, provost, deans, faculty members, alumni, and the students of CEPT University. And last but not the least, I specially welcome all the parents of our students, particularly the parents and guests of the students who are graduating and winning awards today. It's indeed a special occasion. Today we honor the achievements of our students, and all of us at CEPT University are very happy that you are with us to share our joy and pride. Now, as is customary on this occasion, let me tell you something about CEPT's activities in the past 1 year. After 2 years of disruption and challenges due to COVID-19, last year we started to emerge from its shadows. This has been a difficult time for everyone, and yet we have continued to deliver on our mission of teaching and research to the best of our ability. We have supported students who face the greatest difficulties with additional financial and other forms of support. I'd like to commend the tremendous effort put in by our students, faculty members, and staff members that has enabled us to tackle the challenges in these difficult times. Now I'd like to list a few of the notable events of the past year. First, people. We are, as you know, blessed to have the best students in the country and the best teachers and the best staff. You all agree with that. This year, Professor Anand Bele, who was appointed as Dean of FD in 2017, he finished his tenure here, and in July 2022, after completing 5 years, he handed over the baton to Professor Salim Badri, who is with us today. He's the new Dean of the Faculty of Design. So we welcome him. In addition to this, 22 new full-time and adjunct appointments have been made in the last 1 year to strengthen the people at the university. The 18 new team members have joined in non-academic roles in the university. I welcome everyone and wish them all the very best. The Faculty of Planning celebrated its 50th anniversary in 2022. Over the last 1 year, Faculty of Planning has conducted a series of activities that marked the completion of this important milestone. It was heartening to see participation of all the former deans, many alumni of the early and recent batches, and many of the teachers who had taught at the faculty. In the last year, the Masters in Interior Design program, which was housed in the Faculty of Design, has been moved to the Faculty of Architecture. This is in line with a long-term vision for the Faculty of Design to focus more on programs that align with industrial modes of production, while Faculty of Architecture continues to offer programs on context-specific design, such as interior design. The intake for this program will be increased to 36 in this year. The Faculty of Architecture also started 2 new specialization programs, the Masters in Housing Design and the Master of Architectural Tectonics. This year, the Bachelor of Interior Design program will merge with the Bachelor of Design program, and intake in the BDES program will be expanded to 80 seats. Academic accomplishments. The Masters in Conservation and Regeneration program was recognized as one of the programs with best practices in conservation pedagogy by the World Heritage Foundation. Conferences and symposiums. CEPT University hosted the first Asia Partners Meet of the Global Sanitation Graduate School, organized from 7th to 9th November in 2022. 21 institutions across Asia and Europe and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation attended the meet. The Faculty of Planning is the only urban planning institute from South Asia to lead one of the 14 global clusters. In a few months, the Faculty of Architecture will host CADRIA, the Computer-Aided Architectural Design Research in Asia Conference. This is a highly sought-after conference in the field of computer-aided architectural design. Later in December 2023, the Faculty of Technology will host the Comfort at the Extremes Conference with the support of CABC and CRDF. Scholarships. CEPT University's aim is to ensure that no student is denied opportunity to study at CEPT for want of financial resources. I'm glad to report that in the year 21-22, CEPT disbursed approximately 5.91 crore rupees, or roughly 13% of its total fees towards scholarships and assistantships, which benefited over 600 students in total. It's heartening to note that no student had to discontinue their education due to financial impact of COVID. The CEPT Mentorship Program. CEPT University started a formal mentorship program 2 years back to provide capacity building for faculty and support for setting in place systems to achieve excellence. The program is now active with 5 engagements with institutes across the country for various types of mentorship. So CEPT is now slowly helping other institutions develop their pedagogy and teaching. The CEPT Essay Prize, the theme of the 4th cycle of the CEPT Essay Prize 21-22 was embellishment. The jury comprised Romi Khosla, Tridip Surut, and Qazi Khaled Ashraf. The top prize was awarded to an international participant at a ceremony in November by the filmmaker and writer Paromita Vora. The library forms a key resource of CEPT University. I'm very happy to share that the CEPT Lilavati Lalbai Library was selected by the Aga Khan Award for Architecture amongst the 20 shortlisted for the 2022 award cycle. CEPT Library and ADINET had jointly organized a seminar on redesigning library spaces and services on the occasion of National Librarians' Day on 27th of August. The seminar was attended by more than 125 librarians and library professionals across the country. CEPT Archives. CEPT Archives has been the leading effort to archive important information on architecture planning and design in South Asia since 2013. This year, CEPT received the works of CEPT alum and noted architect Sirish Berry and various others. CEPT Archives also supported and curated an exhibition on the practice of Kamal Mangaldas and Devendra Shah. CEPT Press continues to publish books. 3 books were published: Architecture and Independence, The Search for Identity, Making of a Place, and Sen Kapadia Architect. Exhibitions. After 2 years, this was the first time that the summer and winter exhibition was set up entirely on the campus. These exhibitions showcase the work of all students and studio units offered across the university each semester. This year, many primary and high school students also visited the winter exhibition. CEPT University also supported the exhibition Chale Chalo, Woven Stories of Rajan, curated by Jai Kakani and Malvi Chowdhury. It was a tribute to Rajan Chowdhury, an artist who wove us magic and who was a teacher at CEPT University. CEPT University is thankful for the support it receives from individual and corporate donors. I would like to thank DLF, PSP Projects, Harsha Engineers, and MB Group for their continued support and contributions. I would also like to thank the Gujral Foundation for the Excellence Awards and other activities that they support. With regards to our infrastructure, as you all know, the conservation of the Faculty of Architecture building, which was initiated during the pandemic, was completed last February. It was a significant effort involving several professionals and agencies. I'm very pleased that the building, which is a jewel of the CEPT campus, has received a new lease of life and is well used by students and faculty. This year, we will be starting work on a new building to house CRDF and other university activities. It will be located across the North Gate of the CEPT University and will house all centers of the CRDF along with other supportive facilities. It will also augment our training and capacity building activities. We are very thankful to the Ahmedabad Education Society for their support towards the capital expenditure for this and other facilities, including the conservation of the Faculty of Architecture building. CRDF, research and advisory opportunities there. CRDF is the research and advisory arm of CEPT University that engages with both the public and private sectors for improvement of human habitat. This year, CRDF is engaged with projects like the Endangered Wooden Architecture Program, a grant received by the Center for Heritage Conservation. The grant focuses on the study and digital documentation of the wooden havelis across Gujarat. The Chennai Metropolitan Development Authority has partnered with CRDF and CEPT University for knowledge sharing and research studies to boost fact-finding and analysis for evidence-based decision-making. Rail Land Development Authority has commissioned CRDF to undertake a high-level planning exercise for the rail corridor between Vatwa and Sabarmati. Ratings and rankings. Since the last few years, the Strategic Initiatives Office of the University has been supporting the university's participation in the ratings and rankings at the state and national level. In the Gujarat State Institutional Ranking Framework, GSIRF 2022, CEPT University has been rated 5-star in the overall university category. One last point. Very soon, you are all going to be newly minted alums of the university. Our alumni office has put together a welcome package for you with an alumni card and a token that will remind you of this day. As you go out over the next few years, there may be many instances when you need support of the university, or you need some old document, or you would like to connect with someone in a new city. Please do not hesitate to reach out to the alumni office for any kind of help. Also, as and when time permits, please come back and share your experiences with our students. Finally, before I return to the program at hand, I want to remind all of us that without the hard work of the faculty members, both permanent and visiting, and the staff of CEPT University, none of the developments that I'm talking about would have been possible. I sincerely thank all of our faculty members. I'm sure that all of the students also want to. This afternoon, a total of 608 students will receive their degrees. Many awards will be conferred. On behalf of my colleagues, deans, faculty members, staff, and myself, I congratulate all those receiving degrees and awards. All of us wish you the very best in life and hope that you will make the most of the opportunities it presents. In doing so, you will make us proud. We also hope that you will stay in touch and keep coming back to your alma mater. Thank you very much.